So, Robert, welcome to the Rock of Business. Tell me a little bit about December People.
First of all, I'm really happy to meet you and to be on the show. I appreciate this time to talk about December People. It's sort of the most important thing in my life I've ever done musically, and I've done some great things. I've been such a lucky guy. December People is the Christmas songs you grew up with, the holiday songs you sang when you were 4 years old. You know them. You've heard them a million times. They never change, but they've changed now because you're going to hear Jingle Bells in the style of Van Halen where it sounds like Hot for Teacher. So the magic or the secret sauce is morphing those two together where you can actually still sing Jingle Bells. If you come to see us, you don't know who we are, you can sing Jingle Bells, and it's going to, it's rocking away. We had a pretty good radio response last year to Silver Bells, which is done in the style of Tom Petty's Living on a Dream. That's really what we do. But we do it for charity. We go out and we try to get involved with, like I said, the United Way, local food bank. We did something here in San Jose, California. I am Silicon Valley for the homeless shelter here, the people that are homeless advocates that actually get people jobs and places to live and everything. And we want to come into a town or a city and benefit just those people, the local people. We want to be Houston, you mean?
Yes.
That's a big area. That's way big. But still, we want to come to Houston, and we want to only play and benefit the people that you can affect. Because we feel that if everybody took care of their own city, town, area, whatever, we could sort of wipe out the homeless and the hungry problem in the United States. It can't be that hard if we took care of our own little areas. That's our theory, anyway. We're trying to prove that theory is going to work. You know, I have to tell you, one of the things I learned by asking these guys playing this band, if you don't ask, the answer is always no, right? You know, one of my best friends in the whole world plays in the band Boston. You want to play some Christmas songs with me? And he's going to say, what? Right? I don't want to do Christmas songs. No. I said, well, you know, that I got this album done for this record company, and it got Album of the Year with the independent record labels. I wasn't expecting it to get that great response. Christmas music. Well, it sounds like fun, but you know, I'm busy. So, well, Gary, here's the concept. We're going to do it for charity. We're going to go in these cities. And he goes, stop, I'm in. Just like that. You know, when the complete concept was great music, familiar holiday songs, charity, Gary is a give back guy. So I had my number one. This is really, really tough music, keyboard wise, because the styles are all over the place. We go from Rush to the Beatles to Tears for Fears to, all these styles that we grab these little pieces of. It's pretty amazing that we play all that. So I knew the guys in the tubes, which is crazy.
They sound just like the actual songs. So you have to have somebody that can be versatile at this.
And since you said that, I'll digress a little bit into the style. It seems like it's that song that's done. The Christmas song is put into that song, but all the riffs are backwards. All the chords are the chords of the real Christmas song. So in Gary's case, he plays in Boston, right? We have Deck the Halls done in the style of Boston, the 3-song medley for Deck the Halls. Gary has to play all those Boston riffs wrong because we don't do the real Boston riff. It's been rewritten to seem like it because we don't want to steal Tom Scholz stuff. We're not going to steal it from him. That's not fair, you know. But it needs to seem like Boston. So Gary's got to go from being on the road to Boston to learning these riffs and playing the chords to Deck the Halls while it sounds like Boston. I call the guy in the Tubes, keyboard player, because they are wacky. This guy plays all kinds of stuff. I say, Dave Med, I need the greatest keyboard player that can play all kinds of styles. Are you interested? He didn't even say why. He just said, I love the concept. I'm in. I was missing a guy that could sort of do everything on guitar and vocal, that had a smoother vocal than me. So I called Jack Foster, who was a client of mine at the studio here. I've done 3 albums for him. And I told Jack, I said, I need some guy that can do the hardest part of this. You're going to do whatever needs to be filled in, whatever guitar, the wild guitar stuff, the soulful guitar stuff, the smooth vocal, the very high harmony parts. And he was flattered because of the team I had together. He said yes. Drummer-wise, my first call was to David Lauser, Sammy Hagar's drummer. And I said, I got this Christmas thing. He goes, you know, I don't want to play Christmas songs. I said, well, you know, like some people, they think that this band plays Christmas songs. Yeah, it is a Christmas show, but we do it, I feel, so artistically. And all the musicians are so great, the music quality of it. And he didn't want to do it. So I called another friend of mine from YMT, Mike Vanderheel. And Mike said, oh, Charity, and Mike's a great drummer. And he goes, I'm in. So we actually started with a different drummer. And it wasn't for a couple of years until Mike got so busy with YMT he couldn't do it that I called David Lauser back. And he said, you know, I've seen what you do. That sounds interesting. And his wife was all, oh, you got to do that. You got to do that. Then he got it.
You know, it's hard to, it's really simplifying it, but I tell people when I'm telling them about the band that it's like Weird Al Yankovic meets Trans-Siberian Orchestra with maybe a lot less explosions and fire. So talk about your background. You were with the Greg Kihn Band.
Well, I was very fortunate when I first got my big break. I was working with Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer in the 80s. And because of that, I had a top 10 song. It gained me enough respect from the business to be able to call a Gary Peel, you know, and become friends. And also along the way to play with some pretty great bands until, Sammy Hagar being one of them, until this guy Greg Kihn called me. So the Greg Kihn Band toured with the Stones, The Who, you name it. They toured with him, so his stories are fantastic. Great show. This is my recording studio. I have the best of everything here. I mean, I insist on having great equipment and great instruments and everything. I said, Greg, we need to do a new album. He goes, it's been 15 years, but okay. Yeah. And that's what we actually just did. We're putting on a new album in a couple of weeks here. And I've been playing with him now for about 10 years, having a lot of fun doing it. It just sort of completes the package that we're all attached to some big name, some big band that is actually still doing it. These aren't has-been guys. You know? These are active guys. So all year, we make a living, and we entertain people, and they give back to us this feeling that it's hard to explain, but I've seen some of your shows and stuff, and people have talked about it. So it's time. November, December, nobody tours. Really. It's time to get these guys. Boston's not touring, Greg Kihn's not touring, and we need to give back. And that was part of our concept, too. Look, nobody's busy November, December, and we've had such a great year, and we're so lucky to still be doing this, and the audiences love the 80s music. Right? Classic rock is still big. We have got to give back.
How do you do this when you're all spread out and you all have other jobs?
And we work all year long, those other jobs, and only do December. That's my music stand that's up all the time. You see those 2 books there? Those are child Christmas song books. I dug them out, and I keep them here all the time. Because part of it is me having, right now, almost March, right? I have to start coming up with some new songs for this year.
Was the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. All the stockings were hung by the chimney with cake, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
To start with, there has to be a leader in something that has an idea that you say, that's a good idea. Then my thing is, I want to be inclusive, right? So I don't want my team to play my song. Here you go. You're going to play Little Town of Bethlehem, like, whoever it is. I forget now. I have so many of these songs that I can't remember who did what. But I want them to buy into their part and their piece of it. So I have the concept. Gary's in Boston. I send it to him. I say, here's the song. We're going to do it like Alice Cooper. School's out for summer. Well, Gary knows that song. He knows Alice Cooper, you know. It's their piece of it to come up with the little part that's sort of Alice Cooper-ish that they like to play that kind of makes it fun. It's not like being a copy band. You have to reinvent that part and make it part of the Little Town of Bethlehem, you know. So the ownership, I think, in this thing is important. So you have your key component, let's say me, with the concept in the studio here where we're eventually going to record, but the team has to have some ownership in it, so they're, I believe, self-starters kind of. They control their own little piece of it. Nothing's better than you thinking of it and come up with a solution, right? You come up with a solution, you're never going to buy into anything more than that. Someone says, well, here's your solution.
Yeah, because I'm always telling people at management conferences or when you're talking to leaders, you know, give your people more credit. Give them some space. They will surprise you with the things they can come up with. I mean, you've obviously spent all this time, like you did, putting a band together. Companies spend a lot of time finding the best, and then they micromanage, or they don't give people that opportunity to show what they do best and to showcase all those skills.
Everybody, even if they don't seem like they have something to offer, you know, something's bubbling up. Some people don't have the personality, like in public, to let those ideas flow out, but they have them still. And that's the freedom the guys have in the band, let's say.
The city sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas.
Just like any business, any band, author, speaker, whatever, the most important, you can have the best product in the world, you can have the best song in the world, but if you don't get the word out, it's not going to do you any good at all. How do you get the word out? I mean, obviously doing interviews like this, but how do you go about that with December People so that you can do this in more cities?
I made a big mistake at first because December People, I thought that's a nice name, that'll work. You know, it sort of says December. Then 3 years later, when people said, "What's December People?" It's not getting the point across. So our manager said we need to call this a classic rock Christmas, performed by December People.
Yeah, I like that because when I do talk to people about branding, one of the first action items I give them to take away before we speak again is come up with 3 words that describe what you do. And that's actually a lot harder than it sounds. But that's actually where my brand, Create Rock Stars, came from. And think of it this way. When you're sitting next to somebody on an airplane, if I say I'm a speaker and an author, they want to chew their arm off and get away from me. But if I say I create rock stars, I mean, the body language, they turn. If you can come up with 3 words that grab someone's attention, they will say, tell me more.
Promoting it has been easy in the towns that buy into it, like Kansas, where we do it with the United Way.
Once you start to explain to companies and associations and nonprofits what you've done and who you've done it for, then they see themselves. They see their office holiday party. They see their company client party. All of a sudden it starts to come together. So tell me a little bit more about some of the organizations you've worked with and what you've done for them.
And we started basically with food banks. That was our whole plan, because a lot of people do little local food bank things, and they get a few hundred cans of food or a few thousand. And we were Second Harvest is a big one in California. Again, the United Way is connected. I wish I could remember offhand the name the United Way is connected with in Kansas. Macy's. So it's huge. And the operation, people were working. The servicemen were there. Everybody was involved wanting to do some good. What we haven't really done is gone to these corporations and said, look, because they have satellite. Google has things all over the country, right? They're not just their headquarters here in Silicon Valley. As I travel the country, and I work for Google, or I work for Apple right here in Minneapolis. Oh, really? There's an office here. It would be great to be able to work through those companies for the food banks or for the homeless. Every city seems to have a homeless problem. I can't believe Silicon Valley has a homeless problem. This is the world's 10th biggest economy here, and we have a homeless problem.
Well, and that takes me into the next question. See, you're very good at this. You're like psychic. You're predicting the questions before I even ask you.
Well, if you could just answer it for me, I think we'd be more organized.
And that probably answers part of my question. Why is it important to you to give back?
I believe things like every problem that comes along could be reframed into something positive. I believe that every problem has a solution. You might not like the solution, but you can solve it. These are all kind of moving forward things, being positive, saying, okay, that's what that is. What am I going to do tomorrow? That's what I always think about. And so I look way past what we're doing to hopefully that we're influencing more than just that. Everybody seems to donate. Thanksgiving, people need food. Christmas, you want to make toys and food. It's going to be March, right? Hey, does anybody think about anybody being needy in March? But it's an all-year thing. It's not a holiday thing. So, yeah, I kind of take it home with me all the time. And I was raised that way. What we've been so lucky doing all our lives, they want to use that for the right reason.
A lot of companies will start to book holiday parties and make holiday plans as early as April or May. What is the process for getting in touch with you? Because hopefully we have planted that seed. I know there's a lot of companies a lot of companies have a lot of heart, and it's also a big thing with millennials right now. As millennials want to know, what is the company doing? They don't want to see the company spend $1 bazillion on a holiday party for employees and or clients and just throw that money away. I think it's a great way to combine that give back of the holiday season and also have some entertainment.
We're hoping, even at the company level, that it's such fun entertainment for them that all year long, like they used to in the old days when they had the big blow-up parties at Apple out here and stuff, where they'd have Kenny Loggins or Michael McDonald or somebody in those days, they had these huge parties. We're hoping they say, wow, that was a great show, and all these guys and famous bands played there. In June, they'll be thinking that, wow, Apple that was really a cool thing we did. And they'll think back, and we did it because we wanted to make a difference to our community. And it ties in to the corporations because we are a fun show with name guys in the band, but the cause might have more of an impact because it's not just a Christmas party.
For more information on December People or booking the band, visit DecemberPeople.com. And to be featured on The Rock Business, visit DanaSteele.com.
Here comes December People. You ask, what is December People? Well, take the band Journey. They've sold millions of records. But can you imagine what Journey would sound like doing the Christmas classic, Angels We've Heard on High?
Angels we have heard on high.
Or another iconic band, ZZ Top. Of course you know that song. It's been all over the radio for years. But what if they did that all-time favorite, Santa Claus is Coming to Town? With ZZ's special style of guitar riffs and quirky vocal style. So it's beginning to make sense, isn't it? It's something familiar. It's something classic. Something you sing along with the very first time you hear it. And a completely new concept in holiday entertainment. You see, December People is not only made up of well-known musicians playing your favorite holiday songs, It's those special ingredients found in all well-known songs, recorded by the biggest bands of all time, morphed with classic holiday music. The style, the hooks, the sound. What got those bands to hit the radio hard and get the fans excited every time a new song came out? December People injects those time-stamped, precious musical memories from the songs we grew up with into the holiday classics we all know and love. December People, there's nothing like it. Made up of the members from some of the biggest bands to ever hit the concert stage. Bands like the Sammy Hagar Band, the Tubes, the Greg Kihn Band, and Boston. God rest ye merry gentlemen. Discover their special blend of your favorite band, your favorite song, and your favorite holiday classic, put together in a way that is fun, exciting, and entertaining. An evening you will never forget. So what is December People? We are your new holiday tradition. Walking in a winter wonderland. Click, click, click. Down through the chimney we could say Nick. Merry night and bo-bo-bo-bo. The oxen get tempo. It's classic rock. It's your favorite Christmas song. It's a classic rock Christmas performed by December People.